The Ohio family massacre trial. The jury has now heard more than 2 weeks worth of testimony in the case against George Wagner IV.
This was not a crime of passion. This was not in a fit of rage. These murders happened after a period of 3 months of planning and plotting and executing 8 individuals of a family.
I walked up the stairway, and that's where I found him up there in his bed. I found Kenny.
Can you tell us what condition you found him in?
He had blood all over his eyes.
Later on down the road, I had a feeling that may have been the Wagners. I just hope they get everything that comes to them.
The jury in this trial has been hearing about the fourth and final crime scene. On the stand today was Matt White, a state ballistics expert. He gave a demonstration on how shell casings are ejected when a gun is fired.
You talk also about when that slide comes back, it ejects a shell casing or a cartridge casing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that comes out of this area right here at the top, correct?
Yes, we'll refer to this opening as an ejection port. So during that cycling process, you'll notice how the ejection port is onto the right side of the firearm. So as the slide would move rearward, the fired cartridge case will be ejected in the general direction to the right hand of the firearm, assuming the right of the firearm's orientation. But the general direction would be to the right. Okay.
Standing by with our debrief, Court TV legal correspondent Joy Lim-Nakrin tells us what's happening today. Joy, what's the big takeaway? Nice to see you, my friend.
Nice to see you. So, as you said, Matt White, that firearms expert, was the last witness of the day to take the stand. Court has already recessed for the day, but he's expected to retake the stand first thing tomorrow. He is a Bureau of Criminal Investigation agent, again, specializing in ballistics. And he told the jury about shell casings that he recovered at all 4 crime scenes, as well as bullet fragments recovered from the victims. But, of course, what remains to be seen is what he'll say tomorrow, and how it actually links back to the Wagner family as well. But before he took the stand, we actually heard from the Chief Deputy Coroner, Karen Lohman, talking about the autopsy results for the 8th and final victim whose autopsy she has gone through during the course of this trial, and that is Kenneth Rhoden. Let's listen.
Hey, what are we looking at here, Dr. Lohman?
This is a picture of Kenneth's head, not complete, and we have a picture of the neck as well. Just showing that there's no trauma to the neck, no bullet pieces went down the neck or into the top of the torso. You can still see the bullet at this angle. It looks like it's in the area of the mouth, but that's just the angle of the way the head was when the picture was taken.
Ian, based on your training and experience, your performance on this autopsy, do you have an opinion within a reasonable degree of medical certainty as to the cause of death of Kenneth Rhoden?
Yes.
And what would that be, Dr. Lohman?
It was a single gunshot wound to the head.
Yeah, so of course the state just really laying the foundation still with these witnesses. The day began with testimony from BCI agent George Staley, who actually investigated crime scene number 4, the 4th and final crime scene. Here's part of his testimony.
The photograph going straight in through that doorway, there was a bed, mattress. On the mattress was some clothing, some money, set of keys, and the decedent was found on that mattress.
If you would take a look at the blue jeans on the right side there, did you notice anything significant about the pockets?
Pockets were turned out.
Yeah, apart from that, it appeared, according to his testimony, that the victim was asleep when he was killed. Matt.
Very interesting, and I know where you're going with that, because last week, yesterday, today, tomorrow, we're just waiting for that connection, right? So the state, they continue to present their evidence in the case. So far, no DNA evidence linking the Wagners to any of the 4 crime scenes. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so really that's what makes this ballistics expert who we've heard from most recently, Matt White, so important, is that today we heard yet another stipulation that there was no Wagner DNA found on yet another crime scene. Remember last week, we went through crime scene number 1. Then there was a stipulation. There was no Wagner DNA evidence found there. Then we went on to crime scene number 2 with testimony from investigators about that crime scene. And again, no Wagner DNA found there. Then crime scene number 3, testimony from investigators with the BCI once again, and still no DNA from the Wagners at crime scene number 3. Then we get to crime scene number 4 today, and yet another stipulation. Let's listen.
Your Honor, we do have a final stipulation, and that is that no DNA profiles belonging to Edward Jacob Wagner, Angela Wagner, George Washington Wagner III, or George Washington Wagner IV were found at scene 4, 799 of the Fort Road. Is that acceptable?
That's correct.
Yeah, so the DNA evidence isn't there. So this ballistics expert and a shoe print evidence expert who we anticipate could really become key to this case.
Yeah, so what's next in this case? I know that you've been there since jury selection, and there was that brief waiting period while one of the attorneys was sick. This has been a long time for this jury. And there was also the scene visit. They visited the crime scenes. You were along with them. What do we expect for the rest of the week or tomorrow?
Yeah, so tomorrow we expect that direct examination to continue of the ballistics expert, Matt White. And at some point we do expect a shoe print evidence shoe print evidence expert to take the stand, because we have heard a bit from investigators about shoe print evidence that was collected on the scenes. But really the state has been going scene by scene by scene. So we're in week number 3 now, but if you recall, last week we heard more from BCI investigators, and they went through crime scene 1, 2, 3, and 4. And just to kind of refocus for our viewers, because it is confusing, there are a lot of moving parts here. We've got 4 different crime scenes and 8 different victims. So crime scene number 1 is the one at 4077 Union Hill Road in Piketon or Peebles, Ohio, and that is where Chris Rhoden Sr. and Gary Rhoden were found dead. And a reminder, Chris Rhoden Sr. is Hannah Mae's dad. And Gary was his cousin. So then crime scene number 2, just down the street, 4199 Union Hill Road in Piketon or Peebles, and that is where Frankie Rhoden was found dead. That's Hannah's brother. And his fiance, who's a different Hannah, Hannah Gilley, she was found dead as well. And then there were 2 children who were found alive, a 6-year-old and a 6-month-old. And then crime scene number 3, also on Union Hill Road, 3122 Union Hill Road, just a short walk up from the first 2 crime scenes. That is where Hannah Mae Rhoden was found killed. And remember, she is the mom of the child who was at really the center of this child custody dispute, believed to have been the motive for all this. So she was found dead at crime scene number 3, along with her brother, Chris Rhoden Jr., and her mom, Dana Rhoden. Whereas her 5-day-old daughter, who she had with another man, Chris Gilley, who happens to be Hannah Gilley's brother, that child was actually spared and found alive at the crime scene. So that is what was laid out last week, the first 3 crime scenes. And now we're at crime scene number 4, which is 1084 Left Fork Road in Rhoden, just over the town line, and just about a half mile from the other crime scenes. And that is where Kenneth Rhoden was found killed. Kenneth was the uncle of Hannah Mae Rhoden. And remember, during the very first week of this trial, of course, it began with opening statements, as they always do, but then we started to hear that emotional testimony from family members of the victims and loved ones of the victims. And during that week, we actually heard from the son of Kenneth Rhoden, the victim Kenneth Rhoden. His son, Luke, described the moments that he learned his dad had been killed. Let's listen.
Taking you to April 22nd of 2016, can you tell us when you first learned that there was something wrong?
My mom came into my bedroom and said that I needed to get up, and Chris and everybody out there shot up on the hill.
Do you make any attempts to contact your father?
Yes, tried to contact him about a dozen times. Never received anything back from him.
And you went down to your dad's. What did you do when you got there?
I seen his truck still in the driveway, so I got out and walked up to the door to see if I can get a response from him so I can let him know what was going on. Well, I opened up the door, hollered in there at him, and he didn't respond. And Donald, he stepped up in there and looked, and he ran past me and told me to get out, like he'd been shot, type deal.
He told you he had been shot?
He said there was blood all over his face.
Yeah, so you see, now we're in the phase where we're hearing about the forensics in this case after that first week hearing the emotion surrounding all of this, Matt. But obviously the state is still very early in their case, and we'll be watching that testimony of the ballistics expert tomorrow to see if there's anything that links back to the Wagners.
Yeah, anything, but yet we've yet to hear from Angela mom and Jake brother, who this custody dispute was about. They're supposed to testify, so we're looking forward to that. And you know what? It is a very complicated case, and you're keeping it straight for us. Thank you, Joy, for that.